You're listening to the fourth series of Behind the Rhymes, the mountain we all climb, with me, Maja.
And me, Andrew. Plastic and silicone. As my time on the shore draws to an end, the high tide of plastic sand remains. What fools have we become to pollute our own food chains?
What inspired you to write this poem, Andrew?
So we went on a holiday to Cyprus, or our honeymoon to Cyprus in February this year, 2023. And we were recommended to go to a beach that was supposed to have turtles on it. And I think it was northern Cyprus, so the
yes, it's Alagadi Beach near Kyrenia.
Yeah, the disputed part of Cyprus. Cyprus has its own history, which I became very familiar with while I was there. And obviously there were no turtles. It's obviously not turtle season at the moment, or not then. I think it is now, but it wasn't then. And it's a beautiful beach. There was nobody there. And we walked along the beach. And the sun was out, it wasn't particularly hot, and I just was looking down, taking pictures, and then I realised that there's like a line in the sand, which you get from the tide anyway on beaches. But this line in the sand was coloured, and when I inspected it more closely, it was bits of plastic, very, very small bits of plastic, the same as the grains of sand itself. And this beach had got a huge line of plastic bits, basically, very, very small plastic bits that was like around along the beach. And I just thought to myself, I looked out at this beach and this sea, and it's such a beautiful place, I'd recommend visiting there. And I thought, what morons we are as a species, that we can do this to the planet, you know, that this has obviously come from the sea, and if this stuff's on the sand, then it's in the fish that we eat, and I just try to get into the heads of how we've become, you know, like this as a species.
Just a little bit of background. Alagadi Beach and other beaches on the coast of North Cyprus are most important areas for loggerhead turtles. And British and Turkish Cypriot environmentalists have started a conservation project 40 years ago. So Turkish Cypriot environmentalists work with the University of Exeter here in the UK. And unfortunately, this beach that we saw is full of microplastic, although in 2020, volunteers collected 3 tons of plastic from the beaches of northern Cyprus. So it's not like the local population is not making an effort to clean up the beaches. But the volume of plastic coming from the sea is so huge that what we saw there comes on a daily basis. We've polluted so much that even regular cleaning exercises can't clean.
No, I mean, I took some plastic away that day. We visited as well. There was plastic bottles and bigger bits of plastic. I obviously couldn't pick up the small bits of plastic, but I took bigger bits of plastic there, which had obviously had floated in from the sea, where some of it looked like people had been there and just left the rubbish. And of course, it made me think as well of when we were in Macedonia a few years ago, and there was a lake and a river, and the river was just full of plastic bottles, absolutely full of plastic bottles.
Yes, and just dumped.
Yeah. And of course, you know, I can't criticise countries like Cyprus or Macedonia for their plastic, because we ship our rubbish there. To
yes, there are many
like
scandals.
That.
You can see rubbish produced by supermarkets in the UK with clearly branded with UK supermarkets branding, ending up in Turkey or other countries that buy this rubbish, which is then polluting their nature. But at the end of the day, the planet is one, so you can't pollute within borders of only one country without affecting others. So what we saw is an effect of global pollution, with plastic.
Yes, it's very narrow-minded. You know, I mean, our beaches may not be full of plastic bits like in Cyprus, but we're still eating the fish that's got plastic bits inside it, and I mean, that's on top of the pollution that we put into the sea, the sewage that we put into the sea, and the radioactive material that we bury out at sea. It's in a planet that mainly is water. We really are stupid to be doing what we're doing.
On a positive note, the turtles thrive and their numbers have grown in the last 40 years, despite the pollution, because of the conservation efforts and building small cages where they breed. So, as you said, now it's the season when turtles are being born, and you can observe them during nighttime. If you go to northern Cyprus, you should visit these beaches. They're really wonderful. So maybe in the end, the planet will just get rid of the polluters, i.e. us, and keep the other species that use the planet responsibly.
Yeah, that's entirely likely. This Gaia theory, this Mother Earth theory, it's perhaps that's what will happen, and I don't know, I suspect we probably deserve it, really, because it's even littering in this country on the street. I mean, it's very thoughtless of people just to throw things on the ground.
Now that we know what plastic and silicone is about, would you like to read it again for our listeners?
Plastic and silicone. As my time on the shore draws to an end, the high tide of plastic sand remains. What fools have we become to pollute our own food chains?
You've been listening to Behind the Rhymes, the mountain we all climb, with me, Maja.
And me, Andrew. You can find all the poems from this series in my new book, Beyond the Bunker, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Write Poetry.
The book is produced by our publishing company, Anarchy. And if you want to order it, contact us at vonperestproductions@outlook.com.
Where you can also contact us about other things, maybe even including a chat about the state of the world.